In this video, I'm walking through the 3 steps I took to help this B2B client generate significant amounts of new organic traffic just by adding new content, building strategic internal links to the website, and working to build external links as well. Let me show you exactly what I did. So first, as I mentioned, step 1, keyword research, content gaps, and keyword mapping. First process that I take with almost any client I work with is looking at the website and the market to see what content they currently have, what are they missing, and if they do already have content, what keywords or phrases could we map to those existing pages? And for this project specifically, I built this set here of keywords and phrases to target. And the structure here is working to determine whether or not it would make sense to have a collection style page, a blog post, or a different type of content page on the website for each of these main topics and subtopics here. As I scroll through this list here, you can see over 400 different topics and subtopics that can be used to build optimized content for and work to rank for dozens or hundreds of keywords on every single page. And the process here, as I mentioned, for keyword research, content gaps, and keyword mapping is building this large document here so we have a single source of what content needs to be created. And then from that, we can build optimized content and work to internally link between the pages, especially within each main topic, and then link those subtopics between each other as well. And what I mean by that is if I go to this board I've shared before, part of the process of figuring out how to and what to internally link together is determined by what the relationship of these pages would be. So as an example here for metal fabrication, you would have a page dedicated to materials we fabricate. This would be a high-level page that would likely talk about all of these different materials you can fabricate. Stainless steel, galvanized, brass, etc. You can read all those. Now, the key here is having a little bit of content on the primary page or the pillar page, whatever you want to call it, about each of these individual sub pages or subtopics. Then from this primary page, you would link to each of these pages. You would link to your stainless steel fabrication page. You would link to your galvanized page and so on. Now, additionally, if it makes sense, and if you have content on your aluminum page about stainless steel or vice versa, then you can link between these pages as well. So you'd link between each of these, talking about how your stainless steel fabrication services also work on aluminum because of the process of the metal or whatever your machinery is or something. And you would have an example, something like this. On your stainless steel page, you would have content, our aluminum fabrication services work with these metals because. And you can talk a little bit about aluminum and how it's different from galvanized, or why you're an expert in these, or however you want to structure the content that makes sense. You can use that to build internal links between each of these as well. And that is part of the process of building optimized content and adding internal links to help search engines and other algorithms, AI, whatever, understand what your content is, what it's about, and how it relates to each other. And these two processes alone oftentimes provide significant results for new traffic and new keyword rankings, especially when these are done correctly. Now, next part then, from an optimized content perspective, is either making sure you have enough content about each of your topics or figuring out how to best optimize it. And I've shared this before as well. I use Neuron Writer, and essentially what you do is you would take the primary topic. So in this case, metal fabrication or metal fabrication services would likely be something like this, your primary page. And I would add that into Neuron Writer here. And then what this does is gives me an expected range, how many words of content the page should have based on the top ranking websites for this keyword in search currently. And you can see here 1,108. Now, the other part this tool does, and the other thing it provides for us, is a list of all of the H1 terms you should have, all of the H2s and H3s you should have, as well as all of the keywords and phrases and how many times each of these keywords is used or should be used within your content to be best optimized based on the average of the top ranking websites for this keyword. So this gives you a pretty solid idea as to what should be in your content, what keywords and phrases, what headings, and then based on that, you can work to build internal links within there as well. Like I said, those two processes alone will very likely provide significant amount of gains in traffic, keyword rankings, and opportunities for you to drive business to your website. From a link building perspective, there are a number of different ways you can work on this. and to share with you the three most important steps that I look at from a link building perspective would be complete topical alignment. And what I mean by that is if you have a page about, or a website, I should say, about metal fabrication, and you can get a link from another website about metal fabrication or something along those lines, very closely, specifically related to your topic, this would be the number one tier you can get from a link building perspective. Number two, then, if we look back here, page relevance. If there's a website about fabrication or structural services or something like that, and they have a page on their website about metal fabrication, in that case, then it would make sense to get a link from that as well. And a page relevance type link would be a 2. This would be complete topical relevance. Would be number 1, page relevance, number 2, and number 3 would be anchor text relevance. And this would be something where if you found a website and they have information, I would still recommend that it be at least pseudo related. So construction or business or something related to that. Then getting an anchor text link, so something like this, would be services like metal fabrication. And metal fabrication would be the link. So in this case, then, this would be the blue text, and this would be a 3. And in general, whenever possible, it is always going to provide value for your website from a link building perspective to focus on these types of links. If you're getting links from completely unrelated websites and there is 0 anchor text relevance, page relevance, or topical relevance, you will very likely see less gains from a link building perspective if you're not getting links that match one of these or all of these types of principles. And following these 3 guidelines is essentially what I did for this project here to help them get 238% organic traffic growth in a 3-month period, and continuing to grow month over month. And their traffic continues to grow largely because these 3 processes were set up and structured correctly for them. That's it. Hope you got some value from this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. And I'll see you on the next one.